In the heart of Raccoon City, where the outbreak has swallowed all sense of normalcy, lies a place once thought to be safe, a zoo. But what was meant to be a sanctuary for nature's wonders has become a twisted graveyard where the inhabitants are monstrous remnants of humanity's folly. No longer a place of awe, it now stands as a monument to failure, its very existence a reflection of the virus's corrupting influence. As the French philosopher Albert Camus once said, "In the depth of winter, I finally learnt that within me lies an invincible summer." But in this forsaken zoo, there is no invincible summer. There is only the depressing cold, the relentless biting chill of despair that consumes all hope, leaving only an endless winter of suffering. The survivors here will find no refuge, only the slow, inevitable march toward their demise, hunted by the very creatures once admired from behind the cages. This is Wild Things, a nightmare where survival is not a victory, but a hollow endurance of pain and loss. Step into this forsaken nightmare, where every fleeting hope is extinguished by the horrors of a world that has long forgotten mercy. The cold hand of despair has gripped this zoo, and no one leaves unscathed. In a city crumbling under the weight of its sins, Cindy Lennox was a rare flicker of light, a waitress at Jay's bar. She wasn't trained for war. She didn't carry a weapon out of duty, or fight because she wanted to. She was just someone who smiled, served drinks, and believed, perhaps naively, that kindness meant something. But in Raccoon City, kindness is a weakness. Cindy's story is not one of heroism. It's a slow, tragic unraveling. A woman who tried to hold on to decency while the world turned monstrous around her. When the outbreak began, she ran, but she also helped. She bandaged wounds with trembling hands, offered her limited supplies to others, and tried to lift spirits with the same smile she wore behind the bar. In a world devoured by cruelty, Cindy's compassion becomes tragic. Every life she aids is like a temporary reprieve, not a victory. She fights not because she believes in salvation, because she refuses to give in to the silence. She wasn't a soldier. She was just a waitress. And maybe that's why her suffering cuts the deepest of all. In a way, Cindy never had a chance. Her life ended the moment the virus was set loose. And the more she tries to survive, the more the world tries to prove that her belief in goodness was misplaced from the start. The survivors enter the zoo not as visitors, but as the prey. The Raccoon City Zoo, once filled with laughter and life, is now a monument to death. The gates are locked. The air is heavy. Every breath feels stolen from something that no longer lives. For Cindy, this is more than survival. It's a slow death in motion. She was never trained for this. She was just a waitress who wanted to help people smile. But in this twisted nightmare, kindness is weakness. Empathy is liability. All that remains is the instinct to run, to fight, to survive another nightmare. The path forward begins at the ruined gates, within the rotting elephant restaurant. She faces her first decision: unlock the gate by solving the code, or tear down the rusted lock with bolt cutters. Either path costs time. Either path invites danger. But there is no waiting. The city is devouring itself by the minute. And then, the nightmare takes form. Oscar the elephant, mutilated and reanimated, crashes through the enclosure and places the survivors in even greater danger. The survivors have no time to pause, because Oscar never stops. He will continue to pursue them throughout the zoo. As Cindy and the others press onward, they face a host of other horrors. The groans of the undead echo across the concrete, their glowing eyes pierce through the dark, ready to strike the moment a survivor lets their guard down. The hyenas howl in the distance, moving in savage packs. The lionesses roam freely, no longer behind their cages, mutated, bloodthirsty. A massive alligator waits beneath stagnant waters, unseen until it's too late. And in the shadows, hornbills, once admired for their elegance, now screech and snap with infected rage. For Cindy and the survivors, this isn't just a battle against time, it's a battle against nature itself. Twisted and corrupted beyond recognition, their objective becomes clear: escape, or become one of the zoo's many victims. To flee, the survivors must restore the zoo's power, but even then their path remains blocked, a gate sealed shut, requiring two lion emblems to open. These can only be obtained through a punishing scavenger hunt for scattered Mr. Raccoon medals, each one a mockery of the childlike innocence Raccoon City lost long ago. The zoo's layout is a cruel joke, a maze of suffering that tests how much pain a person can endure before they give up. Once the lion emblems are secured, the survivors are faced with a cruel choice. If Oscar is locked away, the final battle is against the infected lions. If not, they must face the full wrath of the mutated elephant one last time. Either way, it's a final test of will, grit, and desperation. After the battle, they board the tram, battered, bloodied, and half broken, but their victory is short-lived. Their escape helicopter lies in ruins, a beacon of hope reduced to a burning wreckage. The survivors fall into despair, but they have no choice, only the instinct to move forward. Keep running from a city that offers no mercy. Even though survivors escape the zoo, the grim reality of their situation begins to sink in. Though they physically left, they are far from free. The monsters they faced were only the beginning, a reflection of the true horror that has consumed Raccoon City. What's more terrifying is the realization that survival here means outlasting your own humanity. The emotional toll, the loss, the disillusionment, they don't fade when the zombies fall. They stay, they fester, they haunt. Cindy Lennox, once a hopeful soul, is now just another survivor, clinging to a flicker of hope that may never exist. Her smile is gone, her belief in goodness fading, but she still moves forward because that's all she can do. T.S. Eliot once wrote, "Only those who risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go." In Wild Things, this sentiment echoes like a whisper in the dark. The survivors push beyond every limit. They face the impossible, but they also learn the truth. The price of survival isn't simply escaping death, it's the irreversible damage to everything they were. And that's the tragedy they now carry. Even if you survive, you can never truly escape. So now, as the blood soaked tram rolls into the unknown, only one question remains. When the world takes everything from you, your safety, your sanity, your soul, how much of yourself are you willing to lose just to see another sunrise?